Hi, this is Linda Hunt and the Marketplace Connection. Come and go with us as we visit the 7 cultural mountains where you will receive information that would expand your capacity and upgrade your thinking because God wants to give you more. Join me for the next hour as I connect you to the Marketplace.
Morning connectors. I am your host again, Linda Hunt. I am so happy to be coming to you. Today is the day of freedom. Today we celebrate the day of 4th of July. And so we still wanted to come and we wanted to be able to bring you what we believe always is the best of the best. And like I tell you every Saturday morning, I want you to leap into your destiny. I want you to upgrade your thinking. Because in order for you to get all that God, because he wants to give you more, you have to upgrade your thinking. And this is a season, this is a time, this is an hour for you to upgrade your thinking and to do more. Because God wants to expand you. He wants to expand your capacity so he can pour more into you. And so today we have a wonderful, wonderful guest. We want to, first of all, we want to say Happy Freedom Day. For me, I believe freedom is in knowing who you are. Freedom is coming into your purpose. Freedom is coming into the plans that God has for your life. And once you do that, then you do have the 4th of July, the Independence Day, or whatever else you want to call it. Because every one of us has a day of independence. And there is a natural independence, and then there is a spiritual independence. Well, today we're going to be talking about some of the things that brought this young lady into her own independence, into her own freedom. And so we want you to tell a neighbor, we want you to tell a friend that the Marketplace Connection is on the air. We want you to like, share, start a watch party, let everybody know that we are on the air today and that we are going to be bringing you some things that we believe is going to be a blessing to your life. So when I talk about freedom, and as I said before, there's a natural freedom, and this particular young lady found a business for herself, and she started it. She is a believer. She is Ida Irving, affectionately known as Apostle Ida, is a minister, a CEO, an entrepreneur. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a wife, she's a friend. And most importantly, she's a lover of the kingdom and the King of God. And she is a bold prophet who walks truly in the apostolic anointing, prophetic anointing, and the nature that God has given her, never failing to represent God's true nature. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. Now, when you got a combination of the Spirit of God and you also have found your own personal freedom, then you are truly free, because it is for freedom that Christ came to set us free and to set us at liberty from being captive to those things that held us bound. And so we're going to hear her story. We're going to talk about some of those things that had her bound before she started her makeup line, her lipstick line. And we just want you, again, to tell a neighbor, tell a friend, because she's going to be giving us some business tips about how she got started in the middle of a pandemic. Amen. So I welcome you this morning.
Thank you.
Miss Ida Irving and Ida's Cosmetic and Lipstick line. Thank you so much for being a part of the Marketplace Connection this morning.
Thank you for having me. I'm really, really excited.
Yes, well, I'm excited to have you. This is the first time that I have had her as my guest.
Yes.
She is the wife of the CEO and the producer and all of that in between that owns and operates the Worship Media Group and all of the things that goes along with that. So we are just so happy to have her and be a part of our Marketplace Connection studio this morning. So we're going to be talking about some of those things. We're going to start a little bit about her background, because all of us have a background, all of us have a story, and we're going to be talking a little bit about her story and how God has blessed her to come into the place where she is right now. So let's talk a little bit about you at a young age, and how you struggled with anger and depression and anxiety, because there might be some young people out there. And I always believe that regardless of who we have on our broadcast, I believe that there is somebody that God will have that we can speak directly to. So it might be a young person out there that's looking at us and you know, seeking information that they can come into a business or come into some of the things that they want to do. So tell us at a young age how you struggle with anger, depression, anxiety, and how you overcame that.
From an early age, for one, I came from a broken home.
Okay.
I didn't have a solid foundation. My mother and I had a rocky relationship, but my father and I really didn't have a relationship, which led to anger and also past hurts from childhood trauma and, you know, going through molestation and all that stuff. And so it all kind of built up when I turned around 14, 15, where I wasn't sure how to express my feelings. I wasn't sure how to express how I was feeling. And so it ended up turning into anger, rage, and frustration. And from there, I would start problems in school, and like drama would happen from that. And I wasn't seeking for attention, but I was more so trying to find a way out and escape from how I was feeling, and I wasn't sure how to express it in a healthy way. And so I expressed it by starting problems, by never being home, running away from home, and kind of just trying to find a way out. And so I got into sports, and from there, that was kind of my escape, but I never really found that place where I felt safe.
Okay.
And it wasn't until, and because of me not feeling safe, and because I wanted to be loved without realizing that I wanted to be loved, I ended up stepping into a relationship with a woman.
Okay.
And I felt like that was my safe zone. I felt like I was covered. I felt like everything that I was feeling inside was finally able to express it in some sort of way.
Okay.
And from there, it kind of just escalated into me making a decision of, okay, I think if this is my safe place, then I think I'm just going to continue dating with women.
Okay.
And so from there, I kept that relationship going. It wasn't until I turned 19 that I was introduced to Christ. It wasn't like a normal way. It was more so she was going to church. My girlfriend at the time was going to church, and her sister invited me. And I really didn't want to go because I had a church background, but it wasn't a healthy one.
Okay.
And so for me, I didn't really want to go, but I ended up going, and I was in church and I was angry. And I felt frustrated because I knew I wanted to prove that God wasn't real. I
Okay.
wanted to prove that I was so angry at God without realizing that I was angry at God. And so from there, I kept on going to church because it was something about being there that got my attention. And since I'm always about learning and learning new things, I just wanted to hear what they had to say. And in this process, I started to ask God questions like, okay, can you fix me? Can you take my desire to be with a woman away? Can you take my pain away? Can you take these things away? And so at that time, you know, I wasn't mature, so I didn't really understand how I could hear from God.
Right.
So from there, one day I came into church, and the pastor at that time was talking about love. And from there, it led to answering my questions about homosexuality and how to come out of that and how to build a relationship with God. And she actually didn't know that I was in that lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So it was kind of, I knew that that was a God thing.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know anything. And so from there, I ended up talking to my girlfriend at the time, and I knew that she had a relationship with God, and I knew that that's what she desired. And so I asked her, I said, is our relationship affecting your relationship with God? And when I saw the tears in her eyes and she said yes, I knew from there that there was just no turning back.
Right.
But then from there, I started to step into really getting to know God and really understanding God's nature. And even though I made a lot of mistakes where I felt like if I got in a relationship with a man right away, then it would fix my problems.
Right.
And so me doing that didn't fix anything but made it worse. Because the root was, there was a lot of pain and a lot of anger that came from childhood that needed to be dealt with. And so from there, after I finally hit rock bottom, where I figured I couldn't really do it on my own and I couldn't really figure it out, I said, okay, God, I love you so much that I'm willing to go through whatever process you have for me to get to wherever I need to be.
Right.
And so from there, it was really my love for God that really transformed me. From there, I had to learn how to allow Him to love me.
Yes.
And how to allow Him to really take those deep-rooted things that were in me, my anger towards Him, of not feeling protected by Him when I went through what I went through.
Right.
Or angry at my parents because they did nothing about it. Or, you know, stuff like that, and just not having a relationship with my father and feeling like I was misunderstood as a child because I was different, and not feeling accepted and not feeling like I belonged, and just dealing with all of those like abandonment roots and all those roots that I needed to deal with. And when I started to grow in Christ, and people were shocked because when I used to tell them like, yeah, like it's only been a year and I'm in a completely different space, they're amazed. They were amazed because they were like, how can God take you from, you know, you just about to marry a woman, you're going into this whole relationship just getting ready to settle down, to now you don't want to live that way, and now you want to live the way that Christ has called you to live. And I always say that it had nothing to do with me, but it really had to do with my love for Christ.
Yes.
Because really, if I myself can't do it, but my love, knowing that I love Him so much that I don't want anything that is not pure, I don't want anything that is not like Him inside of me, then my desire is I want to please you.
Right.
So remove all of those things so that way we can be on one accord. And even from there, like stepping into my lifestyle with Christ now was difficult as well, because now I had to deal with not everybody understanding, not everybody understanding, like I made a choice and here I am now, I'm a different person. And so from there I had to learn where I had like religious mentality. And so from there, it kind of just started to sprout. And it's been a process. It's been like 5 years, I want to say.
Okay.
So it's been a process of a year it took for me to be in that healthy space with God. From there, second year, I meet my husband. And from there, I'm married and then start having kids. And then here I am now.
Wow.
So it's kind of a time of like, God, I didn't realize in that moment that God was going to change my life in the next 5 years.
Swiftly.
Yeah, I didn't realize that
Wow.
God was going to do all of these things in such a quick time that I didn't have enough time to process. And it wasn't until this year that I was
Okay.
able to process that.
Wow. What a testimony. Yeah, and when you were talking, and I was just thinking about just the love of God and how much He loves us. I mean, no matter where you've been, what your background is, it doesn't matter, what side of the tracks you were born on. When God loves us, and He does love us, and His love it just transcends everything. It transcends all of that anger, all of that. And it was misplaced anger
Yes.
that you had. And so you took the anger that you had and you placed it on everything else. But it was really just misplaced anger, disappointment in people that you felt that, that didn't protect you at that time. But God is so loving, and He knows exactly where we are.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter, okay, so you admit that I'm mad, God. Yeah. And He knows that.
Yes.
And you can be real with Him. And that's the wonderful thing about Him, is that we can really be honest with Him about the things that we are feeling, if we're not happy, if we're angry, if we're, feeling like we're misunderstood or whatever the case may be. And God is a forgiving God.
Yes, He is.
And all of that you went through that brought you through all of that. And now today, I mean, it's like a total transformation. It is, because I've watched you over the years, that I've been a part of the company for the last 5 years, and just to see what God has done for you, and He's not done. You're just at the beginning of where God is going to take you. And so, but it's just really like a flower that is just, blooming, and God is just like pouring His love on you to know that I loved you all the time. Even when you were in and, made the mistakes, even when you were in that relationship, God was right there.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is the wonderful, wonderful thing about God. It doesn't matter, you can't go low enough that God can't come down and reach you,
Yes.
His arm is not so heavy that He can't save. His ear is not so heavy that He can't hear. It doesn't matter. So I just thank God for your testimony and what He is doing in your life. And 2 beautiful children, a little girl and a little boy, had them back to back.
Yes.
11 months apart.
Yes.
She became a mother real soon.
Yes.
How old are they now?
Ellie's turning 2 in a few weeks, and Theo is turning 1. And literally in a matter of 4 weeks, all of this is going to happen.
Oh my God. You didn't have time to really think about being a mother. You just like, I'm a mother and then a mother again.
Yes. That's basically what happened.
So your brokenness, because of your brokenness, you tried many things, as you said, and, to compensate for that. And would you say that it was the deliverance power of God and a closer relationship with Christ is something that you would recommend, for those people that might be out there, that might be going through the same thing, might be suffering with some different things, some issues, maybe some questions that they have? Would you say that it is the deliverance that really brought you to that place when you had somebody that you could talk to and accepted you for who you were as well? Would you say that was the delivering power of God that brought you to that place?
Yes, I definitely believe that even in all of that, deliverance needed to take place.
Okay.
Because if it's easy to say, okay, well, Lord, I forgive the people that hurt me. Mm-hmm. But you will go on with your life still struggling and causing patterns in your life to continue being a thing. Mm-hmm. Where you won't realize it, but then you get in another relationship and somehow you ended up in the same situation. Mm-hmm. So I think deliverance has to take place in order for you to be completely healed from a situation, especially because there is rooted things that we don't really recognize. Mm-hmm. And through deliverance, God can extract those things that we cannot see. Mm-hmm. Where, I didn't know I was angry at God. Okay. It wasn't until I watched this movie, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's The Shack.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was watching that movie, and where, he was so angry and just trying to find a way to fix it himself. And, and God is trying so hard to, love him and explain to him, I didn't want you to go through this. I didn't want you to experience this hurt. But again, there's still evil on this earth.
That's right.
And so me hearing that was like, whoa, I didn't realize I was angry this whole time, because I felt as if, why didn't you protect me in that time? Mm-hmm. When you have all the power, why can't you protect me?
Yes.
And at that point, I realized that God didn't intend for me to go through what I went through. Mm-hmm. God didn't want me to go through all of those things. Right. But because there is still evil on this earth, there is evil things that are going to happen. But it's the power of God that can come in and change that, and can change your perspective on that. And He at the end has the victory, because even in everything that I went through, I'm thankful that I went through that. Mm-hmm. Because it made me who I am today. It allowed me to have compassion. It allowed me to be able to love people back to life. It allowed me to be able to reach people where they can't be reached. Mm-hmm. Where you can minister, where people see somebody that is angry and they don't want to be around them, I want to be around them because I want to be able to minister and be able to talk to you and be able to ask you questions of how did we get here and why are you angry?
Right.
Where I have the grace to talk to people, that are dealing with certain things that I did. And I'm thankful that God can use what was meant for evil for good and use it as a tool where the enemy thought that he could take everything away from me, so much so that he, from age 6 to age 18, enemy was telling me literally almost every other day that I was going to die before my graduation. And it was for me, even going to my graduation and feeling like, I don't know how I'm going to die this day, but I know something is going to happen. Because the enemy kept on, it became so normal to me to know that would happen. And so when I made it to the next day, I was really confused on how did I make it? If, I believed this lie for so long. And so even from that, I needed deliverance. So, it's
thinking process.
Yeah, so it's a deliverance process. And even in walking in this walk, I still need deliverance every day.
Yes.
Because, I deal with people every day. I'm still human.
Yes.
I'm still going to get frustrated. I'm still going to feel overwhelmed. I'm still going to, have moments where I'm going to be anxious and, overthink things and stuff like that, where I need to ask God, like, deliver me.
Absolutely.
Deliver me from my thought patterns. Deliver me from, the enemy coming in and perversion, or, I constantly need deliverance. And I feel like I think avoiding deliverance is only hurting you because it's not allowing you to become the fullness of who you are.
Right.
And so, yes, I do believe that deliverance has to take place in order for somebody to really blossom and really become who God called them to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and you said some key things because, a lot of times, when you were talking about, and even I know sometimes with women in, relationships with men, they feel like, okay, the next thing or the next man to come along can heal me from my past, the things that would happen in this past relationship. And so, we're so quick to want to get into a situation or a circumstance that we think is going to heal us. We think that person, we think that thing, that next drink, that next high, that next sexual encounter, we think all of those things are going to be the things that's going to heal us. Yeah. But the only thing that can really heal us is when we come, first of all, when we come to the knowledge of the truth, that, I need healing that has to take place inside of me.
Yes.
Nothing external can heal you.
Yes.
I know that in my own life. Nothing external, all those other things are just external things. But you have to have inner healing. And when you find God and when you allow him to come into your life and you find out that a lot of those things that if I just give them over, if I just, go ahead and allow myself to go through the hurt, because nobody wants to go through the hurt.
Yeah.
You don't want to take that process because it's a process.
It is.
And yes, it is going to take time. And yes, it is going to hurt because you have to take off the layers of the pain, layers of the hurt, layers of the disappointment, layers of being abandoned, or layers of you being, raped or molested or any of those things. All of those things have to come off. Yeah. And good things happen. Bad things happen to good people. It's not that God, desires any of those things to happen, because he said, I would that none would perish, none of us. He doesn't want us to be hurt. He doesn't want us to be lost. But they do happen to us. But the good part about it is that you have somebody that's willing to accept you and love you back to wholeness.
That's good.
And that has always been my mantra, is wholeness. Bringing particularly women into a place of being whole. We have to come to a place where we get whole and know who we are and recognize, first of all, that God loves us and that he has a plan for our life and that his plans are good for us, even though we've been through some bad things. Yep. So that's a wonderful testimony. And you would agree that you found true freedom in Christ. That all of that brought you to the freedom that you can do the things now that you do. You don't have all of those restraints and all of those things on you that you had on you that was there before, that the enemy put on you. That it brought you into the freedom. So, being today is the day of freedom, and that's what we're talking about today. How she got free, how she was able to come into wholeness, how she was able to come into a place that now she can do the things that God intended from the foundation of the world. Those things weren't just things you walked into. Those things were always there. That has always been the plan of for your life that God had for you. Is everything that you're doing right now. They were always there. It's just a matter that you had to walk into it.
Yes.
You know, you had to go through that deliverance.
Yes.
You had to go through that pain to get to where you are. And God opened the door now for you to walk into your purpose.
Yes.
You know, the purpose and the plans that He had for your life were always there. You know, and the enemy would have loved for you to throw it away. You know, stay where you are, stay bound, stay in a relationship that you know was not godly, or that it wasn't the relationship God had for you, but it was always there.
Yes.
You know, so I thank God that you found it.
Amen.
It was like a treasure hidden in the field. I'm
Yes.
telling you, you found it. You know, so now you are married, your mother, 2 beautiful children. So would you tell someone before they get involved with someone else first, as we said before, you know, just tell them, you know, minister to them a little bit about being delivered from self, from you.
Yes. Being married is a chapter in my life that I was not expecting.
Okay.
I had made up my mind that I was not going to be married
Okay.
because I gave it a thought, but for me it was more so like, I don't think I want to deal with another person. But it was something that I couldn't stop from happening. And when the time came for me to be married, I was kind of in shock because I was like, okay, God, I thought I told you, like, I'm okay with being single. I'm okay with just being by myself and giving you my life and just doing this. And for him, it was like, but I have so much more for you. And it was like, okay, so clearly this is something is going to come from this. And Blaine and I were already friends. So for me, that was, because I already loved him as a friend, and
Right.
I really did care for him, it was a easier transition. But when we were officially married, it was oh shoot, I'm married. Like, this is really happening. But I think it was an easy transition because we were friends first.
Okay.
The foundation of our marriage was friendship, and it was always Christ. I mean, every time we would hang out, it was always about God. We would talk about God. We would talk about him wanting to be married.
Prophesy.
Yes. It was always like something like going on, prophetic words. Like, it was always something going on, and it was always Christ-centered. And it kind of really made the transition easier into marriage. But it definitely was still a process for me because it was, I had to learn how to love him now. And, you know, dying to self every day, where I have to learn, okay, he likes affection, he likes to be loved, and, you know, so having to learn basically another human being. So I guess the advice that I would give before someone gets married is be okay with yourself first.
Okay.
And get in a comfortable space with yourself and know who you are.
Okay.
Because it is easy to get lost in marriage because you're taking care of somebody else.
Right.
And so I would say definitely, like, know yourself, be comfortable with who you are, and know who God called you to be.
Okay.
So that way, when you are in marriage, you don't get lost in your normal
Yeah.
routines.
Yeah,
So.
that's good. That's good. I think a lot of times, and you know, when you know your purpose, and you have a purpose in the marriage, but you have your own purpose.
Yes.
And you know, you have to be okay with that, and you have to discover that, because that's very true. I think a lot of times women, they get in marriage, and sometimes they feel like the marriage is going to, like I said, heal them. It's going to fulfill
It's
them.
going to fix everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you lose your purpose.
Mm.
You don't know who you are, and you just, I'm here, but I take on everything in terms of what my husband wants to do, and that's good, because there's a purpose for the marriage. There's a purpose in being married and having a purpose as a couple, but then you still have to know your own individual purpose, because then you're fulfilled.
Yes.
You're not like looking to him for fulfillment.
Exactly.
Yeah, and looking for him to, make you feel good or make you feel happy. And if he's not smiling today, then my feelings is hurt, and he didn't
Yeah.
say the right thing to me. You know what I'm saying? And so you become a crutch.
Yeah, I think that's why Blaine had like such a difficult time pursuing me, because he hadn't dealt with somebody that was so okay with themselves and knew that they
Right.
did not need someone to
Yeah.
affirm them.
Right.
And so for him, it was hard to pursue me because he's like, what I did for everybody else does not work on you. And I'm like, well, that's the good thing. I'm like, it's supposed to be that way. I'm like, I'm not like everybody else.
Right.
I'm okay. I had already made my decision,
Right.
but you know, God said, you know, I have greater. So I think it definitely was a process for him to also get to know someone that I was okay with being by myself.
Yeah.
It's like he says this all the time, like, if I were to leave today, I know you would be okay. And I'm like, and that's a good thing. Because I tell him all the time, like, yes, you're my husband and I love you and you definitely are the head of the house, but my first one is God. If he tells me to do something, we're going to go forth. And that's one agreement that we always came with, an agreement that we came together with, was that if God told you to do something, just do it. Because I'm human and I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't do that. But yeah, I think definitely, like, know yourself. Like you said, don't think that marriage is going to fix you. Don't
Right.
think that marriage is going to fix your problems. Deal with it beforehand, because if not, it's going to manifest during marriage, which can cause, you know, troubles. But yeah, definitely be confident in who you are beforehand.
Yeah. Have your own vision, you know, who you are and what God wants you to do. You know, you talk it over with your mate, but you still need to have your own vision, you know, for your life. Yeah. Yeah. So now that you have now found yourself, God has delivered you, God has healed you. So now this year, you in the middle of a pandemic, okay? You came and researched and found a company called Ide. Is it Ide Cosmetics?
Yes.
Okay, and you started out with the lipstick line. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. You know, this is the marketplace connection. You know, so this is what we talk about. We talk about, you know, how we can take our gifts into the marketplace. Yes, we love the Lord. Yes, we love all the things about God, but God has a plan, and it's not just in the four walls of the church.
Amen.
It is, God wants you to have wealth. He wants you to have finances. He wants you to be able to, you know, just financially secure. You know, we can be secure in God, in the things of God, in the spiritual things of God. But what about financial security? And I believe one of the things that I believe, particularly for me and for what the marketplace connection is all about, is multiple streams of income. We have to have more than one stream of income. And I believe this year, even in the middle of the pandemic, you can start a company, you can start a business, you can start a service. It's all kind of things, but you must, you know, you have to get before God and say, what's the plan? That's what I had on my page the other day. God, what is the plan? You know, you said that you have, you know, plans for us and they're good and not evil. Now tell me the plan.
Yes.
And God will give you the ideal. He'll give you whatever you need to start that business, that service, whatever it is. And so this woman of God found it. So tell us a little bit about, let's go to how you even thought about getting into cosmetics.
So I've always been into makeup. I can remember probably I was 12 probably. And I remember taking my mom's eyeliner and I took it to school because I couldn't wear makeup at the time. But I took it to school and I put makeup in the bathroom and I just knew, I was like, wow, this was so much fun. Like, I can't wait to do it again. And so from there, like, I would take my mother's lipsticks and stuff like that and I would just play around with them and I would put blush on and, you know, just have fun with makeup. And from there, because of what I was going through with anxiety and depression, I used that as an outlet.
Okay.
And so from there, I used my creativity to just kind of create whatever I could create. Some days I would wear pink eyeshadow and other days I would have green and, you know, just having fun and creating whatever I could come up with and how I was feeling that day and so on and so forth. And then from there, I was a freelancer. So I was doing makeup for quite some time, like maybe a year or two.
And you never went to school for it?
Never went to school for it. I kind of learned as I went.
Okay.
And I would also like watch YouTube videos to see like what kind of products work for certain skin and so on and so forth. And from there, I kind of just started to learn. And I did as a freelancer. I started doing makeup for modeling shows and stuff like that. And from there, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to cosmetology school. But I realized that it's not what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Because I realized that in cosmetology you have to do hair, and I'm not a hair person.
Okay.
So I ended up leaving that, and I then kept on doing makeup, having fun with it. But
So do they have a school just for makeup artists?
yes, they do have a school. I don't remember the name of it, but it's kind of like they kind of teach you like makeup for like movies and stuff like that. Kind of
Okay.
like Avatar, you know how that blue
Oh,
makeup and
okay,
stuff like that. So
okay.
kind of like that.
More like costume kind of.
Yeah,
makeup.
and they still teach you like other stuff, but mainly like that kind of
Okay.
stuff. And so I was, I was kind of like disappointed when
Mhm.
I realized that cosmetology wasn't for me. So I kind of just kept on doing makeup, but I wasn't as motivated. And then, that's when I came into Christ. And when I came into Christ, God wanted to deal with a root, and that was that I did not love myself, and I didn't find myself beautiful. So then God said, don't wear makeup for an entire year. And I was like, don't wear makeup for a year? I was like, I don't know if I can do that. So I remember the first month was really hard for me because every time I would look at myself in the mirror, I just felt so ugly. And I was just like, I do not like the way I look. Like, I don't like my eyebrows, just nitpicking at stuff.
Right.
And so from there, it started to get easier so much that every time I would look at myself, I was like, wow, I'm so beautiful. Like, I love my eyebrows. I love my face. I love my nose. And just kind of like affirming myself in that.
Right.
And then that year was up, and I didn't even realize the year was up until, I went to the store, and I hadn't gone to the makeup aisle in so long that I didn't even think about it. But I went to the makeup aisle, and I realized, wow, it's been an entire year that I haven't worn makeup. And so from there, I started to purchase makeup again. I started building my, makeup stuff again. And I started to wear makeup, and I realized that I felt so beautiful without makeup. And I was like, wow, like I love makeup because I love it as a creativity. But now I had a healthier relationship with makeup where I didn't have to use it
Wow.
with, to
That's
make
good.
myself
That's
feel
good.
better or to feel, like, wow, I feel beautiful today. No, like, I use makeup because it's something that I love doing now. Now I have a love for it that is a healthy love, that I'm not using it to cope with insecurities.
Wow.
So from there, I kind of just kept on doing makeup, and then I met Blaine, and we were friends at that time. He prophesied that I was going to have a cosmetics line. And at that point, I was like, well, I don't know how that's going to happen because I've never had a business, never really thought about it. So I kind of just let it go because I was just like, I don't see how that's going to happen. And also
Wow.
because, I didn't believe that I can do something like this. And so from there, it was when did we get married? I don't know, 2018. It was like 2018, 2019. And I decided to start working on it and kind of planning for it, doing research and trying to find like vendors and stuff like that. And it just was not going through. And it kept on failing. And every time I would go try to do the website, I couldn't do it. It was just causing it kind of caused this disappointment in me. And I was so hurt because I was like, wow, like I really thought I could do this, and I clearly can't.
And you did.
Yeah, but in that time I didn't feel like I could. So I tried and I failed, and so then I just felt so disappointed. And then it wasn't until 2020 that I started to write my vision board and what I wanted to do for 2020. And I kind of put Ida Cosmetics on there but kind of like slightly like no feeling like it wasn't going to happen. And I was with a group of people doing this vision board, and they were like, okay, what's Ida Cosmetics? And I was like, well, it's supposed to be my makeup line, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. I just kind of put it on here just to put it on here. And they were like, well, why don't you feel like you're going to do it? And so then we started to deal with the hurt and like why I was so disappointed and why I was so hurt that it didn't come to pass last year. And so after dealing with that, I went to God and I was like, God, I'm really disappointed. Like, I'm really hurt that this did not come through. You said it was going to happen. So why didn't it happen? And so then the pandemic came. And, you have a lot of time and, you have a lot of time to do whatever you want to do. And I kind of just sat there, and the Lord kept on pressing on my heart to go back to the research that I had and to start working on it again. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And I started doing it without Blaine knowing. And I kind of just started to find things and do more research. And then I ended up finding a vendor that I really liked. And then From there, I started to build the website, and everything was done in a matter of like less than a week.
What? No, wait a minute. The website?
The website, my business plan, the research, everything.
In less than a week?
Less than a week.
You
Everything
better
was.
make everybody hate me.
But literally, like in less than a week, everything was done. And it was really a God thing because
Wow.
because God knows that if I would have taken my time with it, I would have never done it. But if I would have felt it pressed on my heart to work on it immediately, then it would have happened because I would have not had time to think about it or process it. So then from there, I knew what I wanted. I knew that we had I had made a design, and it was another color. It was like pink, and like it was very like not me basically. And so I was like, I stared at it and I was like, this is not the logo. And from there, I kind of started to play around, and then I finally got the one that I wanted. And from there, I was like, I knew from there, and that's how the business plan came. I know how I wanted to brand. I knew what I wanted to start with and what I wanted to have for the fall. And basically, it's done for like 5 years. And so that kind of just guided me into, okay, I don't know when I'm going to launch it, but it's going to happen. And God was like, you're launching it in June. And I was like, that's only like, 2-3 months away. Like that's
But you did it before June.
Yes. And I was like, it's not that, it's not that far. Like that's really close. And I was like, how is that going to work? And from there, I just started to do things by faith and just like buying packaging and making design of my postcard and like what I wanted to have. And I knew that the packaging I was not going to compromise on. And so I kind of just started from there. And then Blaine, out of me not knowing, decided to let everybody know that he was going to open the
Pre-sale.
website. Yes, open the website for people to go order. And I was so in shock because I was moving so fast that I didn't process that people were actually going to purchase this. And I kind of was just thinking like, I want women to feel not just beautiful, but I want them to be able to create and do whatever they want with them. I know there's no limits of what you can do with a lipstick. The other day I used it to make my eyeliner. It's so much that you can do. You can use a little bit to make it in blush. Like it was a
You
form.
can use the lipstick and make it into
Yeah, so you can like kind of put it in your hand a little bit and kind of dab it a little bit on in your cheek.
It is beautiful. These are some beautiful. I just gotta show you now.
So it was just such for me, I just knew that this was something that God promised, and I wanted it. I wanted him to get the glory, and I know for a fact, like I prayed for these lipsticks. I pray over them when I send them. Over the packaging, like this is something that I get emotional about because it's something that, for one, I didn't think I was equipped to do, and two, God is using this not only to inspire me, but inspire other women. And I'm still growing, even in this process, but I've enjoyed and, each name has a significance of what.
This is stripe, correct? And this is a rich red, okay, for those of you that like it. And that's what she has on.
Yes,
I got on a combination. I like mixing mine. Some days, just depends on my mood that day. I might have on just, I think, she's cute, okay? And this is, it's a, and these are all, what do you call it? The
liquid lipsticks?
No, they're not gloss. What is the other one?
Oh, they're matte.
Matte, yeah.
Yeah, so they're matte finish.
Yeah, matte finishes. They don't rub off. I mean, you can eat, you can drink, and the lipstick stays on. They're not sticky. I mean, they are really, really quality. That's the thing that I like about them. They're quality lipsticks. Okay, I said I'm not going to be buying any more lipstick from anybody else. Some of my other stuff, I threw it out. I'm like, this is my brand.
That's funny. You have a #1 fan in the Marketplace Connection.
That's right, the Marketplace Connection. You will be seeing all of the lipsticks every Saturday that I have on. But this is so beautiful. This is stripe, and this is probably your bestseller, correct?
Yes, the red one.
The red one. So
it's a blue red, so it makes your teeth look whiter.
yeah, right. So it's a rich, red. This one is this is Promise. Okay, I love this one too. When you have on plum or purples or or blues, this looks pretty. And I have this on too, so I got all of them on. The only one I don't have is Ellie Grace, and I'll show you that.
Are you
one.
wearing all of the colors today?
I wear all the colors today. Okay, so I make my own colors. Okay, and so this is Promise. Okay, for those of you like mauve, this is Promise, and this is Ellie Grace. Is that what this one? Yeah.
Yes.
This is Ellie Grace. That's her daughter's name, Ellie Grace. All right. So Ellie Grace got her a lipstick company already. All right.
Yes.
This is Ellie Grace. This is it's a lighter mauve or more a little more pinker, but it is beautiful, beautiful. Okay. And look at the packaging. Look how the container. Look how nice that is. So nice, slim and nice, very nice. You know, it is really, really nice. And then this is, She's Cute. Okay, so if you want to be cute, okay, you got to get She's Cute, okay? And so this is nice. This is for one of those days if you're going out running, but yet you still want to put your lipstick on. And that's another thing. It doesn't rub off in your mask, okay? So, because I was like, you know what, now Corona, we still got to be cute, okay? And I was like, all my masks, because I have cloth masks, I had them, had some masks made, and my lipstick would be all, and I got to wash them every day. I take them off, take off my mask, because all my lipstick would be in my mask.
Yes.
This you can put your mask on, you can take it off when you're ready and still be cute, okay?
Literally.
So this is iDay's cosmetic line. Tell them how they can get in touch with you or where they can go to find your cosmetics.
So they can go to iDayCosmetics.com. It's HAYDEE cosmetics.com.
It looks like Haday, but it's iDay.
Yes. And you can go to the website and you can order your lipstick, or you can, if you want to support any other way, which is kind of liking the Facebook page or following us on Instagram, you can do that at iDay Cosmetics too. But do you want me to mention the giveaway?
Yes.
Yay! So we are doing a giveaway. One of the things that
This is the package
yes.
it comes in, everybody. Look at this. I kept mine. I don't know what I'm
You're like,
gonna
I'm
do
gonna
with
use it for something else. But yeah, it was all about the branding. It was I had a goal in mind, and that was like I wanted everything to represent what the brand was, and everything is red. So I wanted to get something that like when you get your package, it's like I want to be like, oh my god, it's so cute, and then be like open it and be like, wow.
I was trying to open mine's real, just, I don't want to tear nothing.
Be gentle with it, and
Yeah.
then you get a thank you card. It's pretty much just me telling you like how much I appreciate you, and then you get a coupon code on it. And then the lipstick comes in this black case, and I love this case because one of the biggest struggles with other cases was that sometimes they have like little stickers and
Okay.
you got to go through all that hassle. But with this, it can be universal, and then you see the shade from the
Right,
actual
from
lipstick.
the outside.
Yeah, so it's really nice. So it comes in this black, and then you take it out, and then you get you get this right here. So we're gonna be giving away a lipstick, and it's the purple color Promise. This is a beautiful color for right now, especially for the summer. It looks really good with a tan. So also all of my colors, they all cater to all skin colors. You can be whatever skin color you want to be, and it'll still look really nice. And that was one of my goals, where
Okay.
it's like I wanted to cater not just to light-skinned women, but I wanted to cater to black women, because I was like, you don't see that often where you get like really opaque colors for black women, and you don't really see that on them.
Right.
So that was also another goal, where it was like I want to be able to see it on you. So that's a good thing about this, is the purple one, you're going to tell that it's purple. And yeah, so that's the one we're giving away. All you have to do is like this video and share this video, and you will be entered into a drawing. And from there, I will choose who wins, and I will be sending you information on how you can get this beautiful lipstick in this beautiful packaging.
That's right.
And it'll be shipped to you with all the love, and it's prayed over.
How much are they?
They're $17.
Okay.
So they're $17.
Plus shipping and handling.
Well, with shipping and handling, it is $23.
Okay.
So $23. That's with shipping and handling. And yeah.
Okay. iDay Cosmetics. So tell us some of the things that I'm waiting, anticipating on what's next.
So
what's coming next?
It's so much coming up that I don't even know where to start. I wanted to actually, just because I wanted to share this tip, I wanted to do something for my birthday.
Okay.
But in this process of going to do it, I did not feel at peace. And one of the things that I told God was that I wanted to dedicate this to Him, and if I did not feel at peace about something, I was not going to do it. So I will not be doing something for my birthday, but I will be doing something for the fall. It could be more lipstick, it could be lashes, a lot of things are happening. Where this is going to be something.
You're such a tease.
And so, we never know. It could be lipsticks, it could be lashes. We have, lip glosses maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. Something will
Okay.
happen for the fall though.
Okay. Do you think you'll get into actual makeup or anything like
Yes,
that?
so skin complexion and all of that will be coming, and all of that is part of the 5-year plan. So whenever, we're going to start planning now and see where we get to, but I do have a goal to get to skin complexion.
Amen. Well, I am just really so excited for your makeup line and for for what God is doing, and I am waiting on the next. Okay.
Yes.
I'm waiting to see what else that He's going to do, because it just says a lot when you in the middle of a all that's going on in the earth, okay, and to be bold enough and to take the chance that you can have a company, and has been successful with her sales, with people that have bought the lipstick, that love the lipstick, that are wearing the lipstick. They didn't just buy it. People are wearing her lipstick, and the lipsticks are very, very nice. I mean, they are really high grade, quality wise. Some lipsticks you put on, you put them on your lips, and they don't look good on you, or they, like I said, they rub off. You eat something and the lipstick is gone. So I put mine to the test. I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, okay, let me see if this stuff if it's really going to last, and it did. So I can tell you from my own testimony that the lipsticks are quality. So you do want to order something from her. And go ahead and just, you too. I'm hoping that what Idea is saying to you today is just, I didn't bring her here just because she started a cosmetic line. I brought her here to encourage you that you can do whatever God has called you to do. Your gift is your job. Your job is not your gift. It's about taking your gift and working your gift, and that's your stream of income. And if you get nothing else out of the broadcast that I do every Saturday morning, it's about making multiple streams of income. And I believe the people of God are the worst. We believe that, just because, yes, we love the Lord, and yes, we pay our tithes, and yes, we pay our offerings, but you have to participate in the plan that God has for you. And this is what she did. She participated. God gave her the idea, but you can sit there, and I know some of you I've given prophetic words to, and said, start that company, get that business, start that stream of income, whatever it is. This is the time and this is the season to do it, but you have to jump in. You can be like that man sitting there for 38 years, waiting for somebody to come along and validate you, waiting for somebody to tell you this is something you should do. Do it. If you have an idea, what is it costing you even if you fail? That doesn't mean that it's not, something that you can't do again. Maybe it's just that, and not so much that it wasn't the time. Maybe you just didn't have all of the ingredients that you need. And maybe God is saying, okay, I'm not ready for you to do it just yet. I need you to go back and do some more research, or whatever the case may be. But even the most successful businessmen fail. So you can't be afraid of failure, because failure is a part of the process, okay? And so, I just want to encourage you, because I was doing some research on some of the companies that started in the year of when the economic failure came in 2008 and 2009. Okay, I mean, some of the companies that started it are billion-dollar companies like Groupon, like Uber, like Instagram. I didn't know Instagram only started in 2008, 2009. These are billion-dollar companies that started during the economic downturn. So don't sit around waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time is now. This is living proof.
That's good.
The perfect time is now. So go ahead, start that business, get that janitorial service, get whatever it is that God is calling you to do, that makeup line, whatever it is, go and do it now. Because I'm telling you, the windows of heaven are open and particularly for the people of God. I believe like never before that this is a time for the people of God to flourish in the middle of a pandemic. We are in Goshen. We are in the land that God has placed us that we can still prosper. Okay? And so I just want you to be encouraged by what you saw today, by this wonderful woman and what God is doing in her life today. I am so proud of you. And not only that, let me tell you what else she's doing. She is doing she's a part of my anthology.
Oh, yes.
So soon she's going to be a published author.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And what is the name of your chapter?
I'm coming out.
I'm coming out. Okay. I thought it was The Lies He Told. No, that's not you.
No, that's not me.
Okay. All right. I'm coming out. Okay. So she's coming out. She's coming out with her new cosmetic line. She's coming out with her story this year. And so she is doing so many things personally for herself. She is doing a lot of things, getting her health together.
Yes.
I am just like, oh my God.
It's a whole new me.
Yeah, a whole new her. And she found a lot of that when she found her purpose. Am I right?
Yes.
When she found out what her purpose was, and God just started little by little by little, it was just like I said, a flower that just began to just blossom. And so I am just so happy for what God is doing in your life. And like I said, this is just the beginning.
Amen.
It is more to come. Okay? So I just thank God for those of you that have been watching today. This has been the Marketplace Connection. And let me tell you about my book, okay, before I go. This is Amen Sister. And I think my producer might have put it up on the, up on the screen. So if you haven't gotten my book, please get the book. It is a journal, but it is a journal of life. It gives you hope. It gives you faith. It gives you encouragement. It empowers you. And I wrote it out of my experiences as far as journaling is concerned, but it is something on that page for every woman because all of us, we share some things that are just in common for us. So I wrote the book to really set other women free, and I left room there for you to be able to journal as well, because it was journaling and the Word of God that set me free when I was going through my trials, when I was going through the things that God was taking me through to bring me to this place. Trust me, where I was over 5-6 years ago, I had no idea that I would be here today. So I'm just saying, all of the things we've been talking about, when you make up your mind to find your purpose, when you make up your mind that you are going to finally move into those things that God has for you and stop allowing fear, stop allowing self-sabotage to keep you from doing what God has called you to do, I'm telling you, God will begin to open doors for you that you don't even know. And so I am saying to you today, that is what freedom is all about. Finding Christ, number one, and allowing Him to come into your life, and then allowing the purposes and the plans that He has that are good and not evil, that He can bring you to your expected end. So we just thank God for those of you today. We want you to have a wonderful weekend. Be safe this holiday. Stay away from, all of the firecrackers and all of the things that can harm you. The children, we pray for their safety. And we just bless you today. And we pray that this has been that it has been an encouragement to you, because I know it has encouraged me. So this has been the Marketplace Connection. We thank God for you. We will see you again next week. We have a guest. We'll have a minister, Antoine. I always want to say Antonio. Antoine Jackson. And we're going to be talking about distorted reality and about mental illness. And so we thank God for you. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Have a happy holiday. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Linda Hunt, and the Marketplace